It's Tuesday night, and I have to tell you why we can never, ever, ever miss a show. Because just yesterday, no, actually Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah. Sunday I talked to Mom and Dad, and Mom said they always look forward to our shows. One of their favorite programs each week is our shows. So, because Mom and Dad, we know they're always watching and always looking forward to it, we will do these damn shows no matter what happens, no matter how we're feeling, no matter what. But we also do them for lots of other people too. But Mom and Dad are number one and number one. Not number one and number two. Number one and number one, Mom and Dad. We love you guys.
I think it's because I never call home and they want to hear me speak.
It is nice. It is
Could
nice.
be what that's probably the reason why it actually is. It's my fault.
Well, it's not just that. They get to, they get to see us. They get to laugh at us. They get to, Actually, although Mom does have something, she said, I explained to her, she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think Ben had those wrinkles though in his forehead and some of these other things that she saw in the last show. And I was like, no, that's because he was using a higher resolution camera with his phone. That's why I only use
I like to use this one and I also have this big white light on me. It just blotches me all out. So I look like a really young angel. That's my goal.
I know, it's the trick. You use the lower resolution stuff and then get some lighting on you. And
otherwise I look old and fat. This way I just look like a white, really white. I'll take really white over old and fat any day.
All right. I got a couple of quick corrections because I misspoke and I like to be factually correct and I like to have integrity. So I apologize. I had a couple of misspeaks and actually was going to correct them on the last show, but I was so excited about the Packers playing. I forgot all about it. All right. Two things. Bruce called me out on being incorrect a couple shows ago when I said that Aaron Rodgers has the highest quarterback rating in the playoffs ever. He doesn't, because now some of these younger guys that played a few playoff games have really good ratings, like Mahomes and stuff like that, have higher ratings than them. So when I looked at that statistic, it was before this last offseason was factored in. And so I don't think guys like Mahomes and guys who played 5-6 games in the playoffs were factored in. He definitely has the top rating of any quarterback who's played at least 10 games in the postseason. So, but I was wrong on that. I want to correct that. And the other one was I mixed up the whole Wilson having 3 picks in the playoff game against the Rams. He only had 1. I was thinking of Roethlisberger's picks. He threw so many. I was so excited about that. I kind of merged him and Wilson together, and I thought they both threw that many picks, but they didn't. Wilson only had one pick in his disgusting playoff performance against the Rams, who the Packers just lit up, by the way. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, we showed you the video last week of Russell Wilson missing open guys. Like he's just looking at the rush, afraid of the rush. So even though he only threw 1 pick, he didn't throw a bunch of completions he should have. And Aaron Rodgers did. So that just goes to show you who's a better quarterback and who's not a better quarterback. One guy, Wilson he is a playmaker. He makes things out of nothing, which is why he scared me against the Packers. Because the Packers, what they do is, they play the vanilla, I don't know what they do, but no one really knows what their defense is. But apparently, we know Russell Wilson can run around and do stuff and create things when there's nothing there. But sometimes when the play is schemed up, he doesn't see it because of his stature and or just he doesn't see it. I don't know. And Rodgers did a dang good job against the Rams. Plus, obviously, Aaron Donald being out pretty much. I mean, it hurt not really playing top notch. That'll affect you as well. You're muted again.
I know. I got a thing on the whole Aaron Donald thing before we get into our show. We got a couple of comments here I want to say real quick. Mom says they're excited to see our faces, only in standard definition, not high definition. That's correct, Mom. Ben and I are still both standard definition handsome, but not HD handsome.
Whoa.
All right, you're right. I might still be a little bit HD, but you.
No, I am the right angle. And the right, if I just squint enough and go like this. Oh yeah, I think I could pull it off. Sure, that's about it.
That's much better. Okay. Anyway, no, she didn't say that, but I was just adding that because I know that's the truth. Anyway, just standard definition handsome. Bruce says good evening. Bruce says good evening. Sorry. John is here. He's a true believer of the team. He believes Tampa will not be prepared for the snow. That will take it. 31-20. Bruce is very excited. I told you everybody's gonna want to look forward. We got a couple things to talk about before we dig too much into the Bucks. And we will have more time on that on Friday night. And I also want to hear from Bruce on Friday night. Bruce, will you be on the show Friday night? Are you available? Because we want to hear about all your Tom Brady, your confidence against Brady. Because you really said this whole time, you're like, I want Brady. I want to crush him and all this sort of stuff. And personally, I would love it. If you want to go find out wherever the hell he is right now and, crush him, go do it. Then we don't have to worry about him playing on Sunday. That'd be fine by me.
Yep.
However, I want to know why you were so confident about him playing the Packers. He thinks Packers 41, Tampa 17 early on. Those are the far blown out of proportion from the Vegas odds. They think it's going to be a much closer game than that. And then there's some things about Brady.
Crazy.
There's some things about Brady though. We'll talk about that. I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout. But I did want to say real quick, there's really something about Aaron Donald. Oh yeah, sorry, Aaron Donald. I got distracted. I got distracted by the chat. Okay, all I heard after the freaking Packers game, after Elton Jenkins kicked his butt, Lucas Patrick, all the guys, they did plenty of double teams on him too. Now, I watched plays. I went back and watched plays where he got double teamed by Lindsley and Patrick, Lindsley and Jenkins, got his butt kicked. Packers were moving the line of scrimmage, and then everybody's like, oh, well, Aaron Donald. Oh, the Packers, yeah, they did this, but Aaron Donald wasn't Aaron Donald. He had the rib injury and blah, 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 blah. Even though they said he said he was good to go. Sean McVay said he wasn't limited on a snap count. And I'm curious. They're like, oh, yeah, the ribs. I mean, just from breathing and all these things. It didn't appear that his ribs were bothering him when he was coming after Elton Jenkins and reached his hands up and reefed his face mask down. I didn't see him wince in pain doing that. So shut the hell up about Aaron Donald and his damn ribs. If he was in so much pain, he wouldn't have been able to do that or do that without grimacing or something like that. So everybody just shut up about Aaron Donald. The Packers kicked his butt. The Packers kicked all the Rams' butts on the defensive line. Their offensive line kicked the crap out of the Rams' defense, and that's why the Packers won the game. So get out of here with that. Enough. Stupid. Want to discredit the Packers over and over and over. I'm just so sick of the disrespect. That's why the Packers got to do this too against this stupid Bucs team. That's why they got to take it to them. Because all this disrespect they get, nobody wants to say they're good enough. Everybody wants to make excuses. Oh, well, they had this advantage, or this guy wasn't there, or that guy didn't play, or whatever. Shut up. They won 28 games since Matt LaFleur has been the coach in the last 2 years. 28 games. Second NFC championship in a row. Give some respect, man. All right.
How's that guy not coach of the year? I don't know.
Don't get it?
Be coach of the last 2 years.
Yep.
He took a team that stunk 2 years in a row with a coach who was getting massages on his feet or whatever.
Oh.
And he took that team and turned it around. And a lot of people will be like, whoa, they brought in the Smith brothers and they brought in Adrian Amos and blabbity flip flop and all this and that. And it's like, nope. Because the defense is okay. But the eye test still tells you we're a little scary. I mean, you look at the stats after the game. This last weekend, Jared Goff didn't even have 200 yards passing. And Akers, he had 5 yards of carry, but he didn't have any like long breaking runs. But it was still, as a Packer fan, you're watching them drive down the field, those long drives, especially like before the first half ended there. You're like, come on, just stop them. Don't let them in the end zone. And they still let him in the end zone on a stupid, I mean, it was just terrible, right? And then they also let another big drive all the way. It kind of like letting things go. And that's the part that scares me because this isn't Jared Goff we're playing this week, okay? It's Tom Brady. And as much as he's old, yes. And as much as he can't run, yes. And as much as he gets all the calls, yes. As much as he wants to get a high five to a ref and the ref says no. because he knows I can't give you a high five because then everybody's going to know you paid me to help you win this game. So stop doing that, Brady. Brady's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I can't give you a high five. I'll give you one after the game when there's no cameras around. I get that. But the guy did get the 14 championship games in his career. 14 championship games. I mean, 9 Super Bowl appearances. It's not by accident. And now he's taken a whole different team with a completely different style of coach. And he took that team to a championship game as one of the number 14. So as much as everybody wants to bag on him and that he's old and he's a jerk and all this, and yes, it's all true. But you have to respect the player for what he is. So as much as I can't stand him, I hate him. I mean, I don't hate as much as Russell Wilson, but it's real close. But you have to respect the fact that this guy continues to win. I mean, it's not just, and sometimes he had nobody on his team. He had like Gronk to throw the ball to, and then Gronk would get hurt, and all he had was Julian Edelman. He made Julian Edelman the MVP of the Super Bowl. That's something. Because you can make a short white guy who's slow the MVP of the Super Bowl. That's something.
Was he the MVP? What was the last?
Yeah, he was the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Against that crappy game against the Rams?
Yes.
Bill Belichick should have been MVP of that Super Bowl because he came up with the defense to stop the Rams offense that nobody played before that. The 6-1 defense. Should have gone to Belichick. Whatever.
All I know is I'm not even a Brady. I hate Brady. Okay. It's like I'm just realistic. Just like when I say some stuff about Aaron Rodgers that everybody gets mad at me about, I'm just honest and realistic. I don't have my blinders on, my Aaron Rodgers blinders on. Okay. Or my Brett Favre. I never had Brett Favre blinders. And I don't have Tom Brady hate blinders on. I just have Tom Brady realistic look at the player and say, okay, this guy makes stuff happen, but there's ways to stop him, right? There's ways to get to him. There's ways to try and minimize what he is good at, which is throwing the ball accurately and on time and knowing what's going on. So if we don't pressure him, if we're not, and if there's ever a time where we play man coverage and bump and run man coverage, this is the game.
Yeah, and be aggressive. Bring the blitz.
You need to disrupt the offense, disrupt the plays, right? And give your defensive linemen and pass rushers maybe a smidget more time to get to him. Because if they get to him, he's going down. Everybody knows that. He's not getting away. Yep. The other thing, don't try to run around the outsides, Za'Darius and Preston and whoever else. Just collapse the pocket on him because he's not going anywhere. You collapse the pocket, he can't step up. He's really good at maneuvering in the pocket. But if you guys just go, he's got nowhere to maneuver. And if you play man coverage and bump and run and destroy it and mess up the freaking yard, the routes and stuff, he's got nowhere to throw the ball. It's that simple. Now, against the running game, that could be rough. But if you're also trying to work to condense the pocket and you keep your eyes up, you can condense the pocket as well against the run and hold your gap because your eyes are up in the backfield and you know what's going on. Now, if the running back gets through, it may lead to longer run plays. Like there might be a couple big hitters here and there because your secondary is playing man coverage and they're not having their eyes in the backfield, right? But I'll take that. I'll take that if they can disrupt the passing game because Tom Brady is that's how you look at all the weapons he's got at wide receiver and Gronk and that Brait guy, whatever his name is. But like even their 5th wide receiver, that number 18, I remember looking, I watched our show from week 6 or the preview show. And I was talking about what to do to try to stop him. And I was talking about how 18 looked great in the game before. I don't know what the heck his number or his name is, but he looks freaking awesome. He made an incredible, crazy freaking catch against the Saints on Sunday. And he's their 5th guy. I mean, come on. We can't let these receivers beat us.
No, absolutely. You know what, though? Look, all right, just look at the game they just played. They weren't overwhelmingly good against Washington, and Washington couldn't get pressure. The Saints game, come on. The Bucs, Brady didn't play that well. The Bucs didn't play that well. Drew Brees gave him the game because he played terrible. He played terrible. All right. So this has to be. You cannot play this game as the Packers defense and the defensive approach and play passive and do what you've done against some of these other quarterbacks. The Packers theory has been don't give up the big play, make them work it down the field, make them, do 12 play, 14 play drives in order to score. No, Tom Brady is just fine doing that. Are you kidding me? Don't put pressure on him and give him the 5-yard pass every time. He's smart. He's smart and he's accurate with that. If you make him throw over the top to beat you, he's going to misfire on plenty of those. He can still do it. He can still throw it well sometimes if he has a clean pocket. So the Packers have to pressure. They have to do what the Bucs did to them in week 6. They have to bring the heat, and they need to be aggressive, and they need to play the short routes. And if the guy beats you over the top, he beats you over the top. Don't worry about it. Your offense has come back on the field. Let's rock and roll. But if you sit there and let them dink and dunk you all the way down and score and chew up a bunch of clock, keep your offense cold, and then they score touchdowns on you, then it's going to be a tight game. And then it's one mistake or one play or something that turns and you're screwed. Maybe it's a special teams play. That could be the difference. So anyway,
well, that'd be bad because our special teams.
I know. Actually, that was the scariest part when that Harris guy had a couple of punt returns. I was like, oh man, I don't want to play the Saints now, I guess. But then he got hurt, and then Drew Brees was so terrible. I was like, no, I do want to play the Saints, but whatever. We're playing the Bucs.
The Saints would be much easier because Drew Brees, he can't throw the ball more than 10 yards in the cold. No way.
But Brady, the key with Brady is just put pressure on him. I mean, him trying to move or throw on the move is totally pathetic. It is pathetic, him trying to throw on the move.
He's better at throwing on the move. Actually, there's been a couple games, a couple good throws he had. Now, he has to have nobody anywhere near him.
Yes.
Okay. And be throwing on the move. But he can. Now, he can't throw off his back foot at all. No. He's never accurate at doing that. He needs to be able to put his arm and his body in. He still needs to be able to do what a normal quarterback would do. He's not like Rodgers who can fall backwards and just flick it with his arm and then throw it 35 yards. He can't do that kind of crap. So that's why getting pressure on him up the gut is key. But also, like I said, it's like, even if he's in shotgun, I don't want to see guys go around to the outside. Okay. Because they will just push you and let you go. And then he will just step up in the pocket. He actually is better in the shotgun, stepping up in the pocket, because he already is back there and he can step up and see and then throw. It's when he's not in shotgun where he has to run backwards and then get ready and then throw. That gives you a little more time to get around to the outside because he's moving backwards with you. It's the opposite of what you would think. I said this last time, way back in week 6, right? But the bottom line is just go. Just don't even keep your head up. Get ready to knock some passes down. You're not going to get there on probably most of the plays because Brady will just throw it fast. He's not going to mess around and try to get hit. Not until the game. And then if you can somehow do get to him and keep them in long distances, then go nuts. Then go crazy, go after him because he's got to throw the ball deeper or whatever the case is, which he can still do. This is not I don't know.
He can I don't want to get. As long as he has a clean pocket and he doesn't have to move, he can throw it deep. Yeah. Again, that's why you need to bring pressure this game. You have to get pressure. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that Kingsley Keke will be back. I know he was doubtful to out quickly last week. I have no idea how serious this injury is. He would be a huge guy in this game. Without because that's pressure in the middle again. That's a guy who can do stunts, who can do all kinds of awesome stuff, beat guys, beat 2 guys.
When you're saying pressure, what do you want?
I don't want them to. They don't have to.
Because here's what they've been doing. They've been blitzing Chandon Sullivan off the freaking nickel corner. Do not. No, I repeat, do not blitz Chandon Sullivan. He's your second best cover guy. Let him cover. Blitz somebody who's faster, like Savage. I would not mind a Savage blitz. Well, you know who else I would like to see blitz? Who usually just is in the wrong spot? Martin. I want to see some Kamal Martin blitzing right up the gut. Right up the gut. Do some right off the middle linebacker and just go. And then you could even drop somebody in coverage from the inside. I don't even care. As long as it messes up the defense. And Martin is fast enough to get in there and make the play. And Brady ain't going to get away from him. He's not. Not only that, he could maybe, if it's a running play, he might be able to mess up the play by getting back there right away. But I don't want to see any defensive back blitzes unless it's Savage. Somebody can get back there so fast that it's not going to matter. Because Amos and Chan Sullivan, and sometimes they would blitz Scott and all these other guys. Will Redmond, for God's sake, no. I mean, Raven Green's pretty good. I'll take Raven Green. So Raven Green, because he's smart and he gets through. He doesn't get blocked. He gets off the block and gets through if he has to. And Savage is super fast. But
all right, deal is this, though.
I don't want to see all that stuff.
Hold on, I got a video to show you. I want to show you what I don't want to see, because the Packers chose to do this against the Rams. This coming up, we do not want to see. Okay, here's a 1st and 10. All right, here's the defense. You got 4 guys on the line. You got Gary, you got Lancaster, Kenny Clark, and almost looks like
that's Dean Lowry, dude.
Dean Lowry, and Preston Smith is in man coverage
on a wide receiver.
On a wide out.
Well, first of
zone. Okay, zone, but I don't care. Why is Preston Smith here? No. Then watch this. Really watch this.
It's really dumb.
Here's the play. No! Look at this right here.
Lancaster in coverage. Yeah, I saw that play. It was the worst play.
Look at this. What is happening here? You have a safety here. You have Kenny King, who a lot of broadcasters call him, but his name's Kevin King, playing man coverage. You have Preston Smith and Tyler Lancaster double teaming Robert Woods. And you got some other guys down here trying to cover. Kirksey's trying to cover this guy. Here you got Savage, I think, coming up for this guy. Jair's probably down here somewhere. Whatever. Yeah, Jair's on that guy. But why? Now watch what Kenny Clark has. Kenny Clark has a double team automatically, and this guy's just standing around. He's like, well, maybe I'll triple team him. I don't know. And does Kenny Clark get anywhere? No. And look at this. Look at this. The ball's gone, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Packers. 5 Packers right here. Not where the ball's going. They let this guy run right back here where nobody is. Nobody's there. And look at that. A big, fat completion. I do not want to ever see that again. Preston Smith and a defensive end.
That was Lancaster.
Coverage. Well, he's technically a D tackle because it's a 4-man front. He's probably labeled as an end, whatever it is. I don't want to see it.
Here's a D tackle.
I don't want to see it. What are you doing, Mike Pettin? You're not going to trick Tom Brady with don't give me any of this trickery stuff. He knows what you're going to do. And on top of that, what is the point of that? What are you going to trick him into by dropping 2 big guys that are only 5 yards downfield, taking up a little bit of space where all the receivers run behind him anyway? What is the point? No point. Rush the passer, put pressure on this old man, and you will be successful. You do crap like that, he'll tear you up. God, I can't watch it. I just can't. All right, go ahead.
Maybe Lancaster's got great hands.
Oh my God. I couldn't.
So they're like, get him. He's like BJ Raji. They're trying to do the BJ Raji play. They're trying to channel the Packers 2010 run.
Yeah, that works against 3rd string Bears quarterback. Not against a guy who's played 5,000 career games.
Okay, well, this was Jared Goff. They're doing it against Jared Goff. They thought it would work. I don't know. It was dumb. I remember when I watched it. I remember when I saw Preston Smith in zone coverage and a wide receiver. I was like, oh my God, what are they doing? And then I saw Lancaster drop, and I was like, why? But we got to be. Listen. I don't want to be harping on everybody the whole time here.
But no. I'm just saying we've already covered it. That's what the defense has to do, and the defense has to. We've seen it. Everybody knows the key for Brady is put pressure on him, and he stinks. The Bucs have struggled on offense plenty of times. They've had plenty of 3 and outs. All right. The one thing they will do is they will run the ball. They will try to run the ball for sure. All right. Well, so you got to also stop. You got to stop the run too, but just play straight up, man. Don't give me 3-man rushes. No 3-man rushes in this game, please. None. I don't care. None. Come on. All right. That's all I got about that. You want to look at the other side of the ball. I know everybody wants to talk about the upcoming game. You won't even worry about the Packers beat the pants off the Rams and Everybody made excuses, whatever. It's fine. But Aaron Donald, apparently his ribs hurt so much that, he couldn't play effectively, but he could lift both arms up like this and yank a guy's face mask down without wincing. So whatever. Media. I do have, some interesting things I thought about the game. Here's what concerns me about the Packers offense against the Buccaneers defense. If you watch the game against the Saints, the Buccaneers defensive backs, and not just one guy, like usually it's kind of one guy that tries to do this a lot and whatever. Every damn one of them grab and hold and grab and hold and grab and hold, and then get an interception after you grab and hold. And it's just a turnover. Look, we can cheat and do all this stuff and cheat, and then we get the pick. So if I do not want to see Sean Hockley's crew officiating this game, because they let all that go for way too much of that game, and don't tell me that didn't impact the game. It directly led to two of the three interceptions. And how many other times guys couldn't get open because they're being held the whole time? Now, the Packers receivers, hopefully they'll come up with a plan for that. They have to. The receivers, they got to expect it. And the other part is that they're going to have to make sure that they run some more of those bunches to try to give guys better releases and stuff like that. Because this team that's what they're going to do. They showed you it. If you watch that game, that's all they did. The only other hope you can have is that if it's snowing and a little colder, their gloves won't be able to stick to you because they'll slip off you when they try to grab you. That could help the Packers. But that does concern me, because if they're blitzing or they're bringing pressure and they're grabbing and holding, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that.
Well, you fight through it.
Yeah, but it was blatant. It can throw off the timing. Even if you're fighting through it, it can throw off the timing. And that does concern me, depending on what the officials allow to have happen. I mean, it was almost every play, dude.
You know what I saw, which really made me, I was like, because they got Sue, who is obviously a cheap son of a gun. We've known that for years. But there was one of the highlights where JPP was getting blocked and Kamara was running up through the middle, and JPP went and just stuck his leg out trying to trip him, like blatantly. And nobody called it on him. But I mean, he's obviously doing it, and you see him doing it. Now, he didn't trip Kamara at all, but still, it happened. So not only do you have cheap corners holding everybody all game long, you're going to have Sue stepping on guys all game long. You're going to have JPP tripping dudes all game long. And now they got Vita Vea or whatever is coming back, maybe, to play because he's off injured reserve. So their big, tough defensive lineman who's good at stopping the run, 300 million pounds, is back. So, which we didn't see him the first time we played him, right? So there's when you come to the Packers offense against this defense, it's a different look. It's going to be a different game. It's going to be a total different environment. Obviously, last time it was 90 degrees or whatever down in Tampa. And now it's going to be in the 20s in Green Bay. So it's an advantage to the Packers that way. I think another key guy in this game that wasn't there last time is Alan Lazard. I think Alan Lazard is going to be a big factor. It might not be catching the ball, but his ability to run block, his ability to sneak out like he did against the Rams in that last play, as long as he can catch the ball, not drop it like he did, he could be the difference. He was not there the first time when the Packers played Tampa. And it was also the first game Devontae came back. So Rodgers was looking to Devontae, threw 2 picks. The whole rhythm of the offense was all messed up. He was missing Aaron Jones wide open. He was missing, Mercedes, but really Mercedes just was unathletic and couldn't make the play. If that was Tunyon, it would have been a catch for 35 yards and it would have helped, spark the team again. But I don't know if he didn't have the trust in MVS at that point yet. He did have trust in Tunyon, but he was still forcing it to Devontae. The difference is this game, he's going to have Devontae. He's going to have Lazard, who's a key guy who looks to on third downs when they really need a third and short. Lazard's the guy, and Tunyon. So hopefully Rodgers isn't just staring down Devontae the whole time, and he's able to do what he did against the Rams. I mean, everybody, all the receivers against the Rams were a part of it. You know, Lazar had 4 catches and a drop, should have had 5 or more. MVS had 4 catches. Tunyon had 4 catches, right? Like all the guys were part of the offense. The running backs, each one of them, 11 carries, 14 carries. A.J. Dillon there was a time where I think A.J. Dillon had more carries than Aaron Jones had in the first quarter there because he was getting the ball so much. And by the way, I don't know if anybody has time. There's a Baldy breakdown he just did for today. You look it up. He pretty much breaks down that 2 running back set the Packers run with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. And he shows how advantageous it is for the Packers, especially against the Rams in this game. How many times A.J. Dillon was running up against a 5-man box because Aaron Jones would go out, and swing out, and then 51, the linebacker would go with him. And then it's just one-on-one blocks, and A.J. Dillon had wide open holes all over the gosh dang place. So it's a really nice Baldy breakdown. He breaks that down and talks, and then he also gets into the passing game a little bit later because that was against man. Then we saw when he went to zone, they were playing back zone, and like I showed you on last week where the Rams were playing that 3 shell, they were playing the 4 quarters, and Rodgers would just get the ball, just throw a slant to Devontae because he knew those corners were playing 9 yards off because they had the deep third of the field. So because of that, he knew it was going to be open pass, quick slant to Devontae, quick slant to Devontae. He had 2 passes like that out of that same formation where Aaron Jones moved out in motion. Rodgers saw that it was zone. He just threw it right to Devontae on a slant. He didn't even worry about it or think about it. So I don't know if that's going to work against Tampa Bay, but it was a great formation, and hopefully A.J. Dillon can play, or maybe they can put Jamal Williams in on that formation because Jamal Williams ran hard this last game. One more thing.
I was just going to ask you about that. I mean, I was thinking, why can't they do that with Williams? I feel fine with them doing
I think they're good.
Williams.
I mean, I think Williams would actually be just as good, if not better. I think he would have had a few more yards in that game because A.J. Dillon, for some reason, wasn't like he'd get through on some of those carries, and then he would just get hit by the safety or the linebacker and then, go down. Where Jamal Williams can sometimes kind of squeeze through and get like 4 or 5 more yards, and we've seen him do it. And then Aaron Jones, of course, and whenever Jones was in there, whenever Aaron Jones got a carry, it was against a 6-man box or more often than not. And he had like no yards in the first quarter, hardly all rushing. But then eventually they got him going because they had a lead and they were passing a little bit more, and the Rams kind of backed off, and then of course they had the big, huge 67-yard run. But the other thing I want to say, everybody check out all these breakdowns on that formation for the Packers offense. It's really cool. It's on YouTube somewhere. Just put in Baldy's breakdowns, Packers Rams game, whatever the heck it is. I don't know. It's on YouTube. It's awesome.
It's a good one.
And then the other thing, I didn't have a chance to look at the video yet this week, so I don't have any. I have a couple things, but has not related to the last game, a little bit. But I wanted to see what Andy Herman had to say about his offensive grades, because usually I do agree with him. I know a couple weeks back I bagged on him because he was saying somebody had a good grade, and it was like, what are you talking about? They stopped.
Christian Kirksey, I think,
or Kenny Clark, or I can't remember, Z or whatever. But
he did Kenny King. Did he say Kenny King?
No, I didn't say Kenny King.
Okay.
But he did the offensive grades, and his top 3 guys. Are you ready for this, Jace? His top 3 guys this week for offensive grades. Number 1. Who do you think it was? Number 1.
Offensive grades?
Yeah. Well, I agree with everything. All top of these 3.
Corey Linsley. Number 1, Corey Linsley.
Wrong. He was not even in the top 3.
What? I thought he played a great game.
He did. He only had like 2 guys with negative grades, he said.
Okay. All right. Elton Jenkins then.
No. You are terrible at guessing.
Billy Turner, number 1.
No.
Okay.
I'm really excited about it. Think about it. Who do you think I'd be the most excited about having the top grade in this game?
Jamal Williams, number 1.
No. Aaron Jones, baby.
Oh,
Aaron Jones, which is what I said after the game. I said Aaron Jones had a perfect freaking game. Now, I thought Jamal Williams had a perfect game too, but he was not one of the top 3. Guess who he said was the number 2 rated offensive player in this game? And you've already named like 7 guys, so it pretty much narrows it down to a couple. Lucas Patrick was the number 2 rated offensive player in this game, according to Andy Herman. He's never been more right in his life.
And you know what? Number 2 is the best number. That's my favorite number. So he's actually like number 1 to me. If he's number 2, he's number 1 to me.
Great. And guess what his number 3 guy was? This one shocked me, but not really, because I agree. Take a guess.
You finally gave Aaron Rodgers some credit?
Wrong, because Aaron
Oh, okay.
Rodgers did not have a great game. He had a good game, but he did not have a great game. Who
He
had a great game?
He had a great game mentally.
It was okay. I think I gave him too much credit after the game. I don't think half of those plays were him changing the play. It was just him, because he kind of admitted some of the stuff on Pat McAfee today that he didn't change the play. He just was telling guys to do their job. So
yeah, but he's always
none
on
of that
top
was
of that
he didn't
stuff.
change jack squat. That's all on Nathaniel Hackett and LaFleur who made those plays happen. But anyways,
all right.
who do you think it was? Number three. Number three.
I named it.
It's a guy with 3 names.
MVS.
You bet your butt.
He played
MVS
awesome.
is a third-grade player, according to Andy Herman, who I agree with. MVS had a great game.
He did.
He was beating his guy. There were a couple times he was wide butt open. He kicked the crap out of his guy, and Rodgers missed him or didn't see him or whatever the case is. According to Andy Herman, I haven't watched the tape yet, but I don't doubt it. And he had great catches. But he also said all the other guys, the whole offensive line, he's like, Elton Jenkins and Lindsley were awesome. He said Billy Turner did pretty decent. Wagner did good. Rodgers was awesome. Jamal Williams was awesome. Devontae, Robert Tonyan, Alan Lazard, you name him, he was good. Like he said, the only guys I gave bad grade to was A.J. Dillon because he fumbled and maybe he didn't always make the right play, or, you know, he could have maybe got a couple more yards in there. And the other guy was, I can't remember who he said the other guy was that was bad. Oh, St. Brown, because I think he had a drop or something.
Yeah, he had a big drop. And
yeah,
he had the big catch, and then he got bounced around on that catch, so he got to go, much closer to the end zone, which is nice. Here, I'm gonna show you something. Watch this. You want to see MVS? MVS, I didn't realize he had 2 yak first down plays. Watch this. Look at him. Watch this. Look at this catch. Nice grab. Oh, he just made a guy miss.
I know.
Marquez Valdez Scantling made a guy miss on multiple plays in this game to get first downs.
Yeah.
If he can do that on top of being the speed guy, then I will give Brian Gutekunst a little bit of credit.
Can I just say, here's one more thing about this game, this coming up game, right? Let's take a look at Tampa Bay. They have Sue, JPP, Vita Vea. They got White, who's a first-round pick.
They're the Southern Patriots.
Oh, just hang on. White, who's a first-round pick. They got defensive backs. They're all top picks. With that Winslow, second-round pick safety, who's been playing great as a rookie. All first, second-round picks on the defense. On the offense, Gronk, Godwin, Evans, Antonio Brown, freaking Tom Brady, freaking Leonard Fournette, number 5 overall pick. All these top and offensive linemen. And what do the Packers have? Who are their main guys? Oh, let me think. Alan Lazard, undrafted. Robert Tonyan, undrafted. Lucas Patrick, undrafted. Aaron Jones, 5th round. Really? Really? How about the defense?
Lindsley's a 5th rounder too.
Lindsey, 5th round. How about the defense?
Ricky Wagner is a 5th rounder. Turner, I think he's like 4th or 5th. Probably should.
Shannon Sullivan, undrafted. Barnes, undrafted. Who else? Lancaster, undrafted.
I know.
Dean Lowry, like a 4th round pick or some crap. I don't even know.
He's a 5th or 6th.
I mean, this team is a bunch of hard-nosed, smart. They're not super duper talented all the time, but man, are they awesome dudes. And that's why I can get behind this team most of the time. If they would start playing Ty Summers a little more and be a little smarter there, I'd be happy. But there's not much else we can do about that. But as far as, think about that. Tampa Bay went and tried to piece together some freaking Pro Bowl team from 5 years ago to try to make a Super Bowl run, right? And the Packers drafted a quarterback who's never going to play for 4 years in the first round. Drafted a running back when they already have 2 good running backs. Drafted a tight end who got hurt in week 1. I mean, how the heck do the Packers, how are they even in this? If anything, and how does Brian Gutekunst never have to freaking ever be accountable for this crap? I don't know. But it just proves even more how LaFleur should be coach of the freaking year. Look at Bruce Arians' team, and then look at this Packers team. And you tell me who got the most out of their team. I mean, come on.
Straight up. I got to get to some chats here, but that was the other part I was going to say. Who's got the way better coach, too? Come on, Bruce Arians. I don't know what's wrong with him, but man, he looked like he was struggling in the dome. I can't wait to see when he's got to stand outside for all those hours, what he's going to look like. That guy sucks.
I watched his press conference from yesterday, and he was a little more respectful than I'd normally seen him.
I see he's
But
wearing the
I
breathe
guess
right though. He's wearing the breathe right. He must have.
no, that was Sunday. That was after the game Sunday. After the game Sunday, he wasn't as respectful. He started taking shots at Bill Belichick, saying that he lets Tom Brady actually, have a say and coach the team a little, coach up guys a little bit. Where apparently Brady wasn't allowed to do that when he was with New England or whatever.
Arians, yeah.
But I can't stand Arians. I could never stand him. Ever since that playoff game, after the playoff game with the Jeff Janis, 2 Hail Marys in a row game, and after the game, Bruce Arians just was the most disrespectful to the Packers I've ever seen anybody after a game. He was just like, these guys, I don't even know what, we shouldn't even let them get back into it. I mean, they can't compete with us. They can't play with us. Blah, 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 blah. Just going on and on about how they suck. And yeah, were they a great team that year? No. But they were a team that freaking played together and did whatever they could to make things happen. And Rodgers had to pretty much carry the whole team on his back. And I don't know. I've just never been a fan of it. And then like we all said too, like you said last year or 2 years ago, and Packers were looking for a new coach. And a lot of people were floating around Bruce Arians. Oh, who could control? Who's a good enough coach that could control Aaron Rodgers? Well, what about a guy who could, control Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck and Ben Roethlisberger and Carson Palmer? Well, if he could control all those 4 guys, he could surely control Aaron Rodgers, right? And then Bruce Arians is like, I don't want anything to do with that team. I don't want anything to do with that job. That's a terrible job. That's what he said. He said the Packers head coaching job was a terrible job. Think about that, Packer fans. This guy needs to get obliterated in this game. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but the Packers need to win because Bruce Arians need to get his freaking ass kicked on Sunday because I'm sick of this guy. He's a big fat freaking jerk, and that's all I got to say about that guy because I don't even want to waste any more breath on that idiot.
All right, hang on. Let me get caught up. There's some really good chat stuff. I apologize, guys, in the chat. We got kind of sidetracked here. We're in our stuff. Look at Lee. We were talking about Lancaster and Preston Smith being in coverage and then how you can't trick Brady. Lee says, drop 2 D tackles in coverage and only rush 2. Brady, you'll never see it coming. All right. That's probably better than what Peyton's thinking about.
It's like we got a Tampa Bay fan in here. Huh?
We do. Well, I think so. But he's asking us to join the Zoom. And I'm like, man, I don't even know you. We can't just bring you on here, just in case. I mean, I'm sure, hey, you're a respectful guy and it's the internet. We trust everything everybody says, but I just can't throw you in our Zoom chat here live when we don't even know you at all or haven't experienced you. Maybe you can submit a video to Hafeman Bros that we can kind of check in and make sure you're on the level and all that good stuff. And then we can think about it. Otherwise, fire away in the chat, man. Nobody around here will beat you up too bad, although we do hate your coach.
Coach, I can't stand Bruce Arians. But I gave Tom Brady respect at the beginning of the show. I mean, hey.
And I'll tell you what.
Freaking awesome.
Devin White has come a long way.
Oh, man, he's awesome.
Year. I mean, he was good as a rookie, but I thought he kind of underperformed. And he's like a monster now. He's beefed up, too. I don't know what he's been doing training-wise, but he's way thicker than he was coming out of college, but still maintained his speed. And he's a beast. Ay. That guy's good.
He was the guy I was hoping the Packers were going to I was hoping they would 2 years ago, they would package their draft picks together to move up and get him.
Yep.
Instead of staying there and drafting, they drafted Gary, who's at least this year is shown up a little bit.
Yep.
But he doesn't have anywhere near the impact that White has. And then also Savage in the first round, who they had moved up to get a little bit more than what they were, but they still had 2 first-round picks. But it's the combination of Gary and Savage does not have the impact that White has on his own. And I mean, that was a great draft pick. I mean, yeah, it was a high, top 10 pick or whatever. I don't know, it's top 5 or I think he was 6.
I thought he was 10.
Oh my God! So Devin
10.
Bush went before him.
Oh no, wait, maybe Bush was Bush was
one of them was
10th.
One of them. Was, they were both in the top 10. They were both
You're right. White went early. He was 5, I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was 5 and Bush was 9 or 10. You're right. I was getting those guys confused. But yeah, those guys are and then you got Levante David's a good player, Shaq Barrett's. I mean, there's a lot of good players on this defense, like you were talking about. Just the guys you mentioned before, they're high picks, and then some other guys like Shaq Barrett, who was a
came from the Broncos, right? Yeah. And the guy came from the Broncos, and he didn't do jack squat with the Broncos, and then teared it up with Tampa Bay. It's like, holy man.
I mean, their defense can be good. I just hope a number of them are impacted by the actual weather and the conditions of the field. I'd love to see Antonio Brown fall on his face. I don't think Mike Evans can really run good pass routes. So what do you think about defensive strategies for this game? I think Kevin King on Mike Evans. Yes. Because Mike Evans just kind of runs straight, right? And he's big and he's not that fast.
You know what I would love to see? I'd like to see Ty Summers come in and cover Mike Evans. and then what you do is you put Kevin King and you double team Gronk with Kevin King and a safety. Jair goes on Godwin, right? Shannon Sullivan's got to take out whoever what's his little white dude? Can't remember his name.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Whatever his name is. And then 18, whoever's in there, 18 or whoever, and if they bring in like 4 or 5 wide receivers, then we got to play zone, because I don't think we have enough corners and defensive backs who are good enough to cover all those receivers that are good. You know what I mean? But whatever. That's still something else.
Raphael, I don't know how you found us, man. He's really pushing to get on the show. I'm sorry, man. We can't. We've only let people we know on the show live these days, but lots of people hanging out in the chat, which are good. Lee, Bruce, John O'Malley's hanging around, throwing in lots of great comments. John O'Malley, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna earn something tonight that I don't even know if you know about it, because we haven't done it in a few weeks. But John O'Malley, you earned it, buddy. Lee's hanging around. Whoa. Browner, I love after every comment says, "Go Pack, go." And Browner thinks key is going to be offensive balance. And I agree, man. That's the other part. So remember what I told you my concern is all the grabbiness and the holding of these D-backs? Guess when it doesn't matter? When you're pounding the rock.
That's right.
Run the ball right at these guys.
Well,
and the Packers were so good on the inside zone in this last game. If they can do that again, right up the gut.
Yeah, but you got Sue and maybe Vea back. And I mean, and not only that, here's the reason why the Packers got their butts kicked the last time is because those 2 middle linebackers are faster than crap. And they sometimes hit the hole before the running backs did. You know what I mean? And when they tried to do that zone play, they couldn't get to the second level and get to the linebacker because he was too fast and he just shot past him and made the tackle. What the Packers need to do in this game is double team defensive. They need to double team Sue, double team Vea, and let Jones or whoever pick the hole and then try to run over guys or try to beat, and maybe they can push Sue or whoever back, which will then mess up the linebackers. But if they try that stupid zone flow crap again and try to get to the next level to get to linebackers are going to shoot right past them. They're way too fast for this offensive line. This offensive line is great against little guys on the defensive line who they can get out when they can get their bodies on them and shove them like they did against the Rams. And they're good against big fat guys, double teaming them and then moving to the next level. But they're not good at that stupid, whatever that is, that zone, everybody flow this way and then try to grab a guy. Because half the time they miss the guys. They run right past them, or if they don't get there in time. And next thing you know, here's freaking Devin White's going to run through and smack Aaron Jones and he's toast. I don't want to see any of that zone crap. I want to see double teams off the gut and off right, just off the between guard and tackle or whoever, whatever. And also I want to see pulling, maybe some pulling guards to the outside. Like if you have an outside run to try to get away from those big guys in the middle, you could have single blocks and pull Lukey Patrick or Jenkins around the outside to lead around the hole, and also use Lazar. I love it when they have him come in motion and then he sits just between the tackle and the tight end. And then he kind of helps to he's almost like the lead blocker, like a fullback on those plays. Mm-hmm. That always is great because then the D-back is like, doesn't know what the heck's going on. And then they kind of back up because then you got like a tight end and you got wide receiver right there next to each other. So it could be a pass. But more often than not, it's a run. And then then they're looked out and they're worried. And then next thing you know, boom, Lazar just smacking a safety and boom, Aaron Jones is gone. So those are all awesome things too that we can do. But no freaking pulling zone plays. There's no way they're going to get to freaking these linebackers. They're too fast. Do not do that.
Yeah. I love Lee's comments most of the time because he's right with us with Ty Summers. He says Ty can cover any of the guys except AB. He probably could. I'll put Ty Summers on Gronk, man him up. He can handle him. Actually, he could probably play off, bait him to throw it there, and then go pick it off because he's so much faster than old Gronk. But let's see. Everybody's saying that Vea's probably not going to play much because he's going to get 10 snaps. Okay, if that's true, but could be a smokescreen by Bruce Arrogant Arians. Maybe he's smokescreening us here. Maybe they've been hiding him. They knew they didn't need him against Drew Brees. There. Right? What did you say? I'm sorry.
So that's a good descriptive name of him.
Yeah,
I like that.
He should just change his last name. I would do it if I was him. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop bagging on Arians. He's just a jerk. But anyway, I do think that if that's the case, I don't care anymore. They can handle him. I trust those 3 inside guys. Between Lindsley and Patrick and Jenkins, I trust them to handle whoever they got to handle. The guys that concern me a little more are the tackles, and then once in a while the tight ends blocking. But if they tighten up their splits on any, flow plays, hopefully they don't allow that penetration. And John is pointing this out. And again, this is the thing that's going to help. The field conditions and the weather will hopefully slow down White and take some of the speed element away from some of those guys that we're a little concerned about. Because they're going to, they look really fast in the Superdome, right? But they're not going to look that fast if it's snowing and if it's Lambeau Field. So that helps a lot too.
Well, are you ready to get to the end of the show here? I got
yeah.
All right, I got my shares here. You let me share? All right.
Oh, sweet. Should we do it before we do, or should we do?
Oh yeah, you do what you're gonna do, and then
All right.
I'll do it.
All right, hang on. I gotta grab it.
But I'm gonna show some stuff after a while.
Now it's been a little while since we've done this, mostly because we ran out of fans to do it with, I think.
I think so.
Well, at least people that we know they're in the chat. We've been picking up some subs, and we know we're getting some more views, but not everybody's in the chat and logs on and does all that stuff.
One of the subs was me on my computer.
You so finally.
I feel dirty. Well, I've been subbed on my phone.
Everyone does that. You got to do it.
I never subbed on my computer. So
how do you think we finally broke 83? I created some new Gmail, some new Google accounts.
Smart move.
Different. I'm just kidding. Hey, but seriously though. Here at Hafeman Bros, we like to salute our super fans. And for a number of times we did Super Fan of the Week, but we've been doing this 2 years now. So we've covered most everybody that were super fans. But we got some new people coming on and talking a lot and chiming in and doing some good stuff. Lee was super fan already. Lee, you know what? For liking Ty Summer so much, you get another super fan for that.
Nice.
But we have a new super fan. The super fan this week wants his Packers to rhyme with his middle name. He wants them to rally. He has a very common first name, but he has very uncommon takes. He has very smart takes because he knows what he's talking about. He corrects me on my crap. He says a lot of important things in the chat. He fires them at us, and he keeps us updated. And so Mr. John O'Malley is the new super fan of the week from Hafeman Bros. Super fan of the week, John O'Malley. Let's give it up. There's more, John.
That is some serious respect. It's nice to see every now and again we get a new guy like Lee came in, and now John, who really adds a lot, knows a lot of stuff. And it's not just some random goofball.
Yeah,
Here it comes.
It's coming soon.
The ultimate of all compliments.
This is for you, John. Super fan of the week, John O'Malley. All right.
Everybody we needed that because we haven't been way too serious the last, I don't know, like month and a half about all this stuff because we've been so freaked out.
Dude, it's the playoffs. We're serious.
I know.
But we have to remain confident. And remember, Nico gave us the 99% guarantee last week. So everybody should feel good. John's getting a lot of congratulations in the chat from a bunch of the regulars. Congrats, John. Play your videos, bro.
Okay. So I just said how we got to be positive. All right. I'm sorry. But I have to show
positive,
a couple things.
If you need to be balanced out, I got a positive video to show you too. So
here's what I want you to watch. This play kind of says it all. when it comes to the Zadarius Smith. Let's watch this play, everybody. He's right here. Watch what happens to him.
Oh, that was bad.
A tiny little running back who I don't even think weighs 200 pounds.
He ran over Chris Barnes too on that touchdown.
Just stiff-armed a 265-pound. Watch it from this angle. That's pathetic.
That's so bad.
He can't even get his hands on him. He's got him by what? At least 6 inches.
See, that's not negative. That's
50,
just funny.
50
that's
pounds. What is that? And look, he gets off the block, off the wide receiver. That was a good spin move. And it's like he just doesn't realize, oh, yeah, that's right. I got to tackle the guy at the ball. I mean, how does that even happen? How does that happen?
Z is always too high. This year, he's always too high. I've been telling you guys that from the beginning when he was playing like crap and not getting any pressure for a while, the first few weeks. He's always too high. He doesn't have any leverage. And on that play too, well, the guy's faster than you. You need to attack and get to his legs as soon as you can. So you dive and you go for his legs. Remember that little dude, Cam Akers, ran over Chris Barnes and carried him into the end zone for like 4 yards too on his Wildcat touchdown. So he's got to have some power there. He's got to have some good powerful legs.
It's funny you mentioned that because I'm going to share the play before the Wildcat touchdown.
Okay.
Which was 2nd and 5. And what I want you to watch on this play.
Can I ask one quick thing?
Yeah.
Why do we have so many Packers again with like taped up hands where they can't even grab and tackle people or catch the ball? Barnes has got the big club. Z has something wrapped up on his hand, so he's only got like one real hand. Kenny Clark why can't our guys keep their fingers from being injured so they can actually grab and help them catch and grab stuff? I don't get it. And tackle. Come on.
I don't know. Now here's the next thing that bothers me about Zadarius Smith. He's right here. I don't know if everybody can see it. This is Woods, number 17, the wide receiver. I want you to watch what happens on this play. Just watch. Gets the block on him.
Come on. All pro.
Now watch this. Look at his body language. He's standing straight up. He is no longer, the running back is now past him. He has given up on the play. He just got destroyed by a 190-pound wide receiver. This is a 260-pound outside linebacker with explosive speed and strength, apparently. Got destroyed by a 190-pound wide receiver. And then he gives up as soon as the back is even with him. Now keep watching. He just doesn't look at him. He just doesn't even. Now watch it from this angle. It's even worse because Woods hooks him under the elbow, but he doesn't fight through it. You'll see Woods' elbow underneath him, and he doesn't fight through it. Right there, see? Right there, Woods gets a hook on his elbow. A 190-pound guy gets the hook, and you don't just shove him. Remember when Reggie White would take 350-pound guys and just whoop, and throw them like they're rag dolls? And 265 pounds of Zadarius Smith can't get off a 190-pound wide receiver? Are you freaking kidding me?
It says he's 275, by the way.
275.
Pause it for a second. That is the perfect formation as the outside guy working on a left side flow. If you're on the right on the outside and you're kind of outside contained, that is the perfect formation to pinch the line of scrimmage and crash down so you don't allow the cutback.
Well, by this time, he should be right here.
Right. He should have been crashing down right behind the line of scrimmage there. Instead, he chose to give ground against a wide receiver blocking him and not give any resistance. And then this is what happens.
This is my point. How many times have you seen on a rollout? Okay, a rollout where the quarterback has the ball on a play action fake rollout, and the tight end comes around or a wide receiver comes around and kind of goes right in front of him and chips him, and he fights through that to go toward the quarterback instead of covering the guy. He does that all the time. But this is a running back. This is not going to give him a sack. and he knows it. So he's not fighting through. And I have had enough of him.
He's got to be better.
It's bothering to me. Look at that. Look at his body language. This guy doesn't give a crap. He's not trying on that play.
I'm gonna look up Robert Woods, find out how much he weighs.
They're in the red zone. They're in the red zone. How is he not? And people might be like, "Oh, Ben, calm down." I mean, he can't be playing hard in every play. The guy makes $17 million a year. The guy makes $21 million on the cap next year, and he plays like that. You think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't watching this? They're like, "Hey, all we got to do is run at 55 because he's a slacker."
All right. Zadarius Smith, 6'5" or 6'4", 275. 6'4", 275. Robert Woods, 6 feet, 194. That was the result. Wow, that's sad.
And here's why I show these two plays, everybody.
We need more out of Zadarius. He's got to be better. He's got to show more effort for sure.
Here's the reason. I'm going to show you another. I got 3 more videos. They're not very long. So just, I'm getting to a point here.
Okay.
This is from last year at the Super Bowl. Everybody listen to this. Oh, shoot. I didn't know if I shared video. Gosh, dang it.
Oh, your sound? That's all right.
Hang on. Well, I know I need to share the sound. So let me.
We credit Chris Sims and NBC for this video footage and interview, just so you know, YouTube. So
and Mike Florio, who hates Packers.
Mike Florio, who's Packer hater.
Okay, so this is my point. This is my point to this. This is the NFC Championship game, and this is what his opinion was, and his response was last year after the NFC Championship game. Here we go.
Did you feel like some of those schemes are different than like what you saw all year?
They were, but at the same time, you know, as a pro, man, you got to watch football, man. And one thing that they did, man, they schemed us up very well. We wasn't ready to play football as a team.
Right.
You know, they got to our edges, and that's something that me and Preston got to work on, you know,
right.
Setting the edge better, man, because there were certain situations to where the ball bounced on the edge, man, and they had a lot of yards that they gained off of us. So I feel like, man, in those situations, we just got to practice, man, and get better next year.
How do you set the edge, though?
Yeah.
Okay, like when Kittle doesn't block you,
right.
And then you're like, wait, I'm on the edge,
right.
And then all of a sudden the fullback comes around and he surprises you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a scheme, man. You just got to know the football game. I know I watch football a lot, man, and I key in on a lot of things. But, man, it was just one of those games where he was coming back. You think he probably cutting me, but he's not. Now he's avoiding me. And now the ball is bouncing outside. So
right.
In those situations, like I said, we just got to work on it this offseason, man, and get better as a team.
Yeah.
Your coach, Matt LaFleur, had some comments after the game that were pretty eye-opening. He had concerns about the lack of fire that he perceived. Did you perceive that as well?
In this past game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you, man. We didn't come ready to play, man. I don't know if everybody was sleepy, but I can tell you for myself, I wasn't ready to play either. You know, coming in the night before, we wasn't ready to play football. I know that much.
How does that happen?
How does that happen? Thank you, Mike Florio, Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk. I listen to him every day almost. And I've been talking about that interview all offseason. And I mentioned it a bunch of times, but I don't know if anybody's actually seen it and heard it from the guy's mouth. I wasn't ready to play in the NFC Championship game. I wasn't fired up to play in the NFC Championship game. If that happens this time, it's going to be the same damn results. We cannot afford to have a guy loafing, getting blocked by a wide receiver, getting stiff-armed to the ground by a 190-pound running back, and not showing up to play when he's our top-paid defensive player. He needs to be out there and dominating. Tampa Bay's guys are making plays all over the place on defense. This is our guy, and he wasn't ready to go. I mean, what more? I don't even have to say anything after watching that, right? And after the 2 plays I just showed you. And yeah, I can show you the handful of plays where he gets a sack and he gets all crazy and does all this stuff, right? But for every one of those sacks he makes, there's 5 more plays where he's loafing it, or he's getting blocked and not getting off the tight end, or a wide receiver, or whatever the case is on running plays, and not setting the edge like he just said, which he's been doing better lately, though. I will give him that. But we can't afford for this defense to show up and play like they weren't ready on Sunday. They need to play like they're ready.
Well, you want to know what? Also, the coaches need to be observant of
And
that.
get on him.
And if he's loafing, you get on him. And if he's loafing still,
Get him out.
he doesn't get to play.
That's right. Get
He doesn't get to play.
Gary in there. He'll work hard.
Yeah, Gary should see the most snaps out of those three guys.
Oh, yeah, he should.
He's been by far the best of them in the outside linebacker group this whole season. So he should get I know Zadarius Smith's a Pro Bowler, and he's actually an all-pro player this year too, which is a much bigger deal than the Pro Bowl, which is like, and again, at that position, what gets you to that level? It's the sacks. And Z knows that, you know?
Right. I mean, he's an all-pro, second-team all-pro, and he's in the Pro Bowl again. And why? Because he gets a bunch of sacks.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't freaking play on half the gosh dang plays. He doesn't do jack squat. It's more than just getting sacks. It's more. And now I got another video to share.
I'll tell you too that it's after having a guy like Clay Matthews, who up until late in his career was like at least gave great effort all the time.
He always did.
What the heck he was doing. I mean, he was always giving great effort, chasing down plays. It's a very stark difference from a guy like that.
Now, this is the guy. This is the attitude we need to have. This is the attitude we need to have. The very next day, Pro Football Talk had Mike Florio and Chris Sims, those guys. Like I said, one more promo to those guys. They're awesome. Watch their stuff. Listen to their stuff. I know Florio sometimes bags on the pack, but usually he's pretty good. He's a Viking fan. I mean, come on, give him a break. But here you go. Here's my guy, who the Packers don't want to pay money to, and we'll get into that probably on Thursday because Bruce sent a link, and I don't want to talk about that crap today, or maybe after the season. But let's listen to Aaron Jones here, the man.
Right. But we talked to Zadarius yesterday. For whatever reason, you guys weren't ready to play in the state of California this year. Like, what's your assessment of that? Like, what about the trip, or what is it?
I mean, I don't have any excuses. I mean, you just got to be ready to play ball. I mean,
Yeah.
The trip's a trip. I mean, teams have to make trips every week, so I don't use that as an excuse. I mean, I was ready to play ball. I'm always ready to play ball. So
Did you sense that some of your teammates weren't ready? Because Zadarius admitted he wasn't ready for that game.
I was ready to play ball. I was ready, and he was. Go back and watch that game. There was one player in that game who freaking cared. There was one player who didn't stop until the end, who worked his butt off and was the man. There's Aaron Jones. And now I got to show one more play, one more video to even heighten this one more time. And I know you're all like, shut up, man. Don't bring us down. I'm not. I'm bringing us up. And I know you're probably like, but you're also bringing us down because we know Aaron Jones ain't going to be here next year. I know. It's sad. It makes me sad too. But let's just watch this play, because this is the epitome of what I'm talking about and what Aaron Jones is talking about. We watched Zadarius loafing, getting blocked by a wide receiver, getting face mask, stiff arm to the ground by a little running back. Now watch Aaron Jones fight through 7 guys on this play. This was his first positive carry of the game, by the way. Smack 2 guys, stay up, run through 2 more, 3 more, keep going, legs deep, running. He still gets 2 more yards, 3 more yards after that. Why? Because that guy is ready to play. That guy understands what's going on. We need everybody on this team to play like 33. Everybody's got to play like 33. Everybody has to have that mentality. The man is going to keep going until he can't go no more. And all the pack needs to come out and do that. If you think they're going to just come out and dominate, they ain't going to happen. They think they're going to sleepwalk through it. They're going to get creamed, and that's going to be the end of all things. And Aaron Jones, who won't be a Packer next year because freaking they're stupid, and it's obvious that the money we paid Bakhtiari didn't matter because they're still freaking doing fine on the offensive line. But we're going to see a huge difference next year. But for this year, this guy is our man. Aaron Jones, get on the damn ball. Everybody else, play like that guy. Play like Lukey Patrick, who doesn't have the talent like everybody else has. But man, does he give effort. He blocks until the whistle's done. He shoves this guy until the whistle's done. That's what every single player on this team needs to do on Sunday. And then we'll see him in the Super Bowl.
That's what we need for sure, man. We need it. How about one more time? Because that was the play I was going to show right here. But this is from the highlight package. And then I just saw Lucky Patrick blocking Donald. I want to see how that goes too. I'm going to watch that. He's right here, by the way. Look at him. Turn him. Oh,
Yeah, and he's still going.
Oh,
And Donald gives up on the play too. You see that? He gave up after he's like, I can't compete with Lucky Patrick.
Those were the 33 and 62 were the last two guys to stop on that play. Just by
that's
the
right.
way. By the by.
And that's how every guy needs to play on Sunday.
You got to do it.
Every guy. And you know what? I got to say one more thing.
I believe they can.
It's very interesting today on Pat McAfee. Aaron Rodgers said this was the first year where he got to address the team after the game. Like the hype guys. This is the first year he's ever done that, which blows my mind. The guy has been, I thought, the leader of the offense for all these years, the captain for how many years. And this is the first time he's ever been asked to address the team. This wasn't the first time this season, but this is the first season he's been asked to address the team. And LaFleur has gone back to him every game the last few weeks, apparently. Because before that, the last 2 years, it was always Mercedes Lewis, or it was like if the defense had a good game, then it was like Za'Darius or whoever. And then, of course, it was always Julius Peppers, and it was Charles Woodson. It was always a defensive player that was the guy who kind of led the team. And this year, LaFleur has actually forced Rodgers, and he hasn't been able to come up with a plan. He just kind of talks from the heart. And if you watch Pat McAfee today, Rodgers brought that up. And I think that's a big key to how this team has been playing lately, too. Rodgers has been finally, it's one thing to say you're the leader and to be a good guy, like around, he's always a good guy with individuals, like one at a time, but he never addressed the team as a whole, and say, hey, follow me, let's go. It's one thing to do it one-on-one, but when you can get in front of everybody and lead them like that, I think this is a good reason why Rodgers is the MVP this year, why he can bring these guys together. And LaFleur has kind of forced him into doing it, which obviously McCarthy never did. Out of all those years of McCarthy never had Rodgers talk or address the team after the game. That blows my mind. And that's another reason why LaFleur should be coach of the year. Because he's like, hey, this is my guy. This is my MVP player. I need to get him in front of these guys and be like, you were the man. You're the leader. Let's lead these dudes. And it can only lead to good things because he will hold guys accountable. He will hold that whole team accountable. And if Za'Darius doesn't show up, I'm hoping Rodgers goes up to him on the sideline and is like, listen, dude, get your freaking butt out there and start freaking showing up. You need to get slapped up beside the head a couple times. Let's do it. But you need to wake up. All right, I'm done.
We need him.
I got all fired up at the end, but it's just like, ugh.
We need awesome effort, no doubt. That's what we want to see. And if they do that and they play physical and they play smart and they do what they normally do. One other key thing from the last game against the Buccaneers, which I was blown away by because they showed a side-by-side of this stuff. The Packers had 6 penalties for 76 yards in that game. The Buccaneers had 0 penalties in that whole game.
Wow.
0.
That's funny because Devontae was actually held on the that second interception that Rodgers threw.
Yeah.
That bounced off Devontae's hands. That was actually he was getting defense. He was getting held on defense, so that should have been a penalty right there.
So you got to fight through it. You got to expect it. Number one, you got to fight through it. That's why you got to be the aggressor. You got to play physical, and you got to just take it to them. And that may mean an offensive adjustment. The one other thing I wanted to point out, Ben, and I'm sure you appreciated this too, is not just the fact that Rodgers spread the ball around, but that he was kind of in mode like, I'm going to do whatever I got to do here to make sure we can keep drives going, to make sure we're successful with the plays, to make sure that we're doing what we got to do and help out his offensive line. There's a lot of quick throws, back foot, balls out, short pass, keep it doing, and eventually you can hit the big ones too. If you do that, that's great. So if he plays like that, and if the offensive line continues to run block the way they run block, and you help them out in the pass by doing quick passes and getting the ball out, I got every bit of confidence in this team and they'll get it done.
Well, he also had a couple of Aaron Rodgers awesome scrambly plays. I mean, the one where he was back in the end zone, it was like 1st and 15, or I don't know what it was, but I was like, oh my God, throw the ball. He's holding it forever, but he's just kind of moving a little bit out of the way, and get out of the way and got the Lazar. And then there was the one to Tunyon at the end of the first half where he had pressure on him and he's like moving this way, moving, jigging like this, getting up to the pocket, strike to Tunyon. Tunyon gets out of bounds, stops the clock. They get in a field goal range, you know. And then his touchdown that he had where he just pump fakes and just kind of does that thing. Hey, he's still got enough agility and athletic ability to move in the pocket, keep plays alive, but he's also throwing to the check down. There's times where he's throwing to the Aaron Jones. He's finding the open guy. He's not messing around trying to force things, but also he's taking it. You know, he takes a shot to Lazar a couple times, takes a shot to MVS, overshot him a little bit, but you know, he understands he's doing all the things. He's keeping the defense guessing. Oh crap, he's going deep. Oh crap, here's a short one. Oh crap, he's moving around the pocket. Oh wait, the ball's out before you even know it. That's that. He played a good game. I mean, his game, his mental and his athletic was great. He had some throws that were like, woof, what's going on with that? But otherwise, you know, he's doing great otherwise. So I'm excited.
I think too, as they do I really liked that starting out with a bunch of short, quick passes approach, because it gets the pass rushers frustrated, and because they can't even get there. They're like, oh, I got a good rush. Oh, the ball's gone already. If you do that to pass rushers early in a game, then you can start getting in their heads a little bit, and then they start, you know, they maybe start checking out a little bit, or they start trying too hard, or they try something else. So I want to see that approach with this Bucs team too, because they want to be aggressive. They want to come after you. You know how Sue is. You know how.
Yeah,
Sue,
but the secondary of the Buccaneers will jump that crap.
Well, then they got to do double moves. Like they actually did some pumps and double moves in this last game too.
They need to do a lot more of those against Tampa.
Yeah.
Which means the offensive line's got to hold up a little bit. It's going to be tough. They're going to need all the guys. Are going to have to play great. I mean, this is not a. I mean, they've all got to be ready to go. I mean, this is the NFC Championship game, and the Buccaneers have a bunch of guys who went there specifically to get to the Super Bowl. Right? They know what's at stake. They're not going to show up and sleepwalk through it. The Packers cannot have the mentality they had last year, as Zadarius said they had. Now, Aaron Jones never said. He said, "I don't know what he's doing. I was ready to go." But whatever. But that's just, they have to be ready to go. And no matter what happens, there's going to be some ebbs and flows in this game. There's going to be a couple punches in the mouth, and they're going to have to take them and then come back. They cannot let happen what happened the last time with Tampa. And then they can't let what happened in Indianapolis either, where they had a big, huge lead and then blew it second half because they were doing stupid stuff on offense. And the defense was just playing bend but don't break because they had a lead. So, I don't know. It's going to be an exciting game. And we'll talk more about it on Friday, right?
All right. And we're going to hear from Bruce about why he wanted Tom Brady so bad. He wanted this matchup so bad. We'll hear from him about that on Friday. Hey, you guys all take care of yourself. Again, John O'Malley, congratulations. Hey. Super fan of the week. Playoff version super fan of the week. Whoa. And we'll talk to you guys Friday night, 9 p.m. on the Hafeman Bros channel. Stay well.